Oh, I get to, again, my favorite student. Good old Ann Serkey gets everything right. So if you want to know what your test is going to be like, look at quiz 1 and look at this quiz. I said test again. What your quest is going to be like, it's going to be a pretty good smooshing of the two. Except occasionally you may have heard me say, I like that question, I like that question. That's a hint that maybe that's also fair game. Expressed in scientific notation, 5.5 times 10 to the 4th, 1 mark. Don't write it down now. Try it this weekend at least and learn. It means you're going to have homework on the weekend, but do it then. 4.2 times 10 to the negative, what? 2. Some kids want to say 3. No, it's after the first decimal point. It's after the 4. 3.64 times 10 to the negative 5, right? And if you're having trouble, 1, 2, 3, 4, don't be scared to do that. 1.236 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 mark each. Perform the following operations. Correct number of sig figs and scientific notation. Okay. Oh, multiplying. 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs. My final answer is going to be, whoop, wrong button. My final answer is going to be 2 sig figs. Turn the calculator on. 7.1, scientific notation button, -4 times 3.6, scientific notation button, -7. 2.556, no, 2 sig figs. I'm going to round to there. Is the 5 going to stay a 5 or get rounded up? Up. So 2.6 times 10, 2.6. times 10 to the -10. Half mark for the front part, the 2.6, half mark for the 10 to the -10. 3 sig figs, 2 sig figs. Two sig figs. 3.3 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? Adding and subtracting with sig figs, and scientific notation. Generally, if they give it to me in scientific notation, I rewrite it in standard notation. So 6.0 times 10 to the -3, that's 0.006. Plus 3.5 times 10 to -4 is 0.00035. It looks like when I do this, I'm going to end up rounding off to that. Now I'll type it in. 6 scientific notation, -3 plus 3.5 scientific notation, -4. And I said I'm going to round off to that. This is kind of strange. It looks like that 0.35 under sig figs rules doesn't actually impact my answer. It's too accurate. My answer is going to be 0.006, except they said they wanted it in scientific notation. 6 times 10 to the -3. 2 marks. Oh, I guess 1 mark for the front, 1 mark for the power of 10. Convert 3 seconds to milliseconds. Write down what they gave me. Times. I want seconds to cancel. I want milliseconds. Milli is 10 to the -3. Double check me, somebody. On your yellow formula sheet, which of course you'll also bring to the test. 10 to the -3. Riley's nodding. I really don't have most of these memorized. It's a waste of my time. 3 times, 1 divided by 10 to the -3. Do you get 3,000? Milliseconds. Half mark off if you didn't put the units. 25 kilograms into milligrams. Okay. 25 kilograms. This is going to be a 2-stepper. I'm going to go from kilograms to grams to milligrams. Kilograms cancel. Grams, and that's 1,000, or 10 to the 3rd, times Grams cancel. Milligrams. Oh, I just did milli. That's a 10 to the negative 3, just like before. So it's going to be 25 times 1,000 divided by 10 to the negative 3. 25 with 6 zeros. I'm going to write this one in scientific notation because it's less writing. 2.5 times 10 to the 7th. 2.5 times 10 to the 7th milligrams. But if you wrote 25 and 6 zeros, because I didn't say scientific notation or not in this question, I would take both. 1 year into seconds. Okay, 1 year times, cancel years, days, 365. Cancel days, hours, 24. Cancel hours. You might remember how to go to seconds. You may remember that there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. If you didn't, you would go minutes, 60 and 1, and then you would go minutes, seconds, cancel, 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 cancel. We're left with seconds. It's going to be 365 times 24 times 60 times 60. 31536 and 3 zeros. 31536 and 3 zeros seconds. If you round it off to scientific notation, if you went 3.15 times 10 or something like that, I'm fine with that too. It'd be times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the page. More sig figs. Did it say that it wants these in scientific notation in the instructions? No? Then I won't bother, Max. 3 sig figs, 2 sig figs. 1.25 times 0.5. Final answer is going to be 2 sig figs. So I guess, 0.6, what? 3. 1 mark, all or nothing. 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs. Final answer is going to be 3 sig figs. 51.3 times 3.940. I didn't really need to type the 0. 3 sig figs. The answer is going to be 202. 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs. Final answer is going to be the 3 sig figs. 4.37, scientific notation button 3, divided by 0.008560. Oh, typed something wrong. Oops, hit the wrong button. 4.37, scientific notation button 3. Is that right, Mr. Dueck? That looks better. Do you get, 3 sig figs? Do you get, I guess 3 sig figs, I'm going to go to there. Is the 0 going to stay a 0 or is it going to become a 1? So it's going to be 5.11 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Adding. Tougher. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can do this in my head. Thomas, I noticed that this goes 3 decimal places. This goes 5 decimal places. You know what? I'm going to round to 3 decimal places. That's the sig fig rule for adding and subtracting. So it's going to be 38.002 plus 0.12378. I'm going to round right to there. Is the 5 going to stay a 5 or become a 6? Going to become a 6, so it's going to be 38.126. Which has 5 sig figs, but that has nothing to do with how many sig figs were in my original question. It's how many clear decimal places did I know. 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place. You know what? I'm going to round to 1 decimal place. I'm also going to subtract. 512.06, take away 65.2. 1 decimal place. I'm going to round right to there. Is the 8 going to stay an 8 or become a 9? It can become a 9. So 446.9. Hey, this is the wife, chicken, horse question in disguise, number 6. If 5 parrots are worth 1 zebra, and 1 zebra is worth 8 monkeys, and 6 monkeys are worth 1 gorilla, and 5 gorillas are worth 2 lions, how many lions are 48 parrots worth? You know what? We're starting off with 48 parrots. And I want to end up in lions. Can I go from parrots to lions? No. What can I go from parrots to what? Parrots on the bottom, zebras, and the conversion factor, 5 of those is 1 of those. What can I go from zebras to? Monkeys. Zebras on the bottom, monkeys on top, and it looks like 1 zebra is 8 monkeys. What can I go from monkeys to? Monkeys on the bottom, gorillas on the top. 1 gorilla is 6 monkeys. And again, my apologies to all the animal rights people. I'm not suggesting we should trade animals like money, but I needed to come up with a conversion factor question. Gorillas, lions. And 2 lions are 5 gorillas. And lo and behold, that's what I wanted to end up. I guess it's going to be 48 times 8 times 2 divided by 5 divided by 6 divided by 5. 48 times 8 times 2 divided by 5 divided by 6 divided by 5. 48 parrots are worth, sounding a little strange, 5.12 lions. No, we won't take a 0.12 of a lion. That would be inhumane. But I'll write it down. 5.12 lions. For 3 marks, for this one here, if you got the right answer, you get 3 out of 3. Otherwise, I would take 1 mark off for each conversion factor that you missed. So if you missed 3 conversion factors, you get 0. Turn the page. Graphing. Graphing. Y equals x over 2 minus 4. If Spencer were here, he'd tell us to do the y-intercept first. What's the slope of A? I wrote it that way on purpose to make it look a little intimidating. What's the slope of A? Yeah, there's an invisible 1 right there. So it's up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. I'm getting a sense, by the way, that many of you haven't done quiz 2. This is going to be on your test, so you've missed out on a chance to learn from your mistakes. I didn't do the walk of shame on purpose this time. B. Y-intercept of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slope of negative 2 over 1 means down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. C. Ah! Yuck! What's weird about C? First of all, is C a line? And how do you know? Do you see any funky exponents? Do you see any weird stuff? So it's a line. What's weird about it? Kyle? Well, let's get the y by itself. How? Well, let's see. First thing I'd like to do is move that guy over. How can I move that guy over? Subtract 3x, I'll get this. Negative 2y equals negative 3x, and the positive 4 drops down like a domino. Have I got the y by itself yet? No. What's in front of the y? Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, divide everything by negative 2. Oh, don't cross that out, Mr. Dueck. I'll get y equals, what's a negative divided by a negative? 3 over 2x. What's 4 divided by negative 2? That there is actually the equation for C. It has a y-intercept of negative 2. It has a slope of up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. By the way, generally when you're graphing a line, I give you a half mark for getting the y-intercept right and a half mark for getting the slope right. But if you got the line right, you get full mark. 1 mark each. D. Ah! Why is D weird? What's missing? Well, the x. What would make an x vanish? What number in front of an x would make it vanish? What is the slope? Devin's going like this. He's telling me either I'm okay or he's telling me that 0 is the answer. Well, you know what? This has a y-intercept of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But a slope of 0. There's D. So 1 mark for each of those. Number 8. Give the equations in slope-intercept form. Okay. Line A. What's the y-intercept for line A? What's the slope? Looks like we're going up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1. Oh, double check. Look at the scale on the x and y axis. Is each square worth 1? Double check. Yeah. Then it looks like it's going to be 1x minus 5. Although, do you need to put the 1 in front of the x? So I'm going to go like this. Gunk. Half mark for the 1x, or just the x. Half mark for the y-intercept. Line B. What's the y-intercept? Positive 5. What's the slope? Down 2 over 1. Although, you know what? I probably wouldn't bother writing the over 1. Over 1? Sorry, down 2 over... Down 3 over 2. I can't even count, Mr. Dueck. It's down 3 over 2, Mr. Dueck. Down 3 over 2. Down 3 over 2. Half mark for the negative 3 over 2. Got to have the x there. And half mark for the plus 5. Can you please give yourself a score out of 25, please?